My name is Catherine Fisher. I had a life that was destroyed, relationship that I was in for 21 years that I thought was good, but in my eyes, I was so destroyed inside, full of anger, very aggressive. I was violent. I held a lot of grudges. I was bitter. I was depressed. I was anxious as well, and I suffered with panic attacks all the time. I drank from such an early age, and I drank to drown my sorrows, because when I was a lot younger, at the age of 7, I was abused. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't speak to anyone about it, but I kept it inside of me. I always had an attitude. I hated everyone around me. I had relationships at such an early age. From the age of 14 onwards, I had relationships very early. And of course, going through relationships, I got hurt. But what I hated was mostly myself. I always thought of killing myself, and I would go out and I would binge drink. I kept away from my family. And I thought all the time that I was okay. But I wasn't. I was one of those women that if I didn't get my way, I would throw the biggest tantrum. Deep inside me, I was lost. I was broken. I was invited, and so I went along. I didn't know what to expect, but at that time I thought, well, I had nothing to lose and I can only go and have a look and see what it's all about. So I went along. I cried through the whole service, and just listening to what was being spoken that night touched me. I was invited again to go with my aunt to a pain and healing meeting that they were having on a Tuesday. By this time, I had just come out of a 21-year relationship. I was in so much pain. I was just a mess. I just wanted to kill myself at this time. I didn't want to live. There were changes that I could see within myself, but still, I was just so empty. All I wanted was my family back. All I wanted was this pain that was in my heart to leave. My depression was going away. My anxiety. I even stopped drinking. And as I kept coming, I was, what you would say, thirsty for more of what I was hearing. I remember hearing about the first campaign, and it was just 1 month into me starting church. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't speak to anyone about it. But I took part. Some of my furniture, savings that I had in my account, I gave all that up, as well as 1 week's wages at the time. I asked for the Holy Spirit. I did not receive it. And that was my first campaign. Yes, I received blessings, but not God's Spirit. And so I kept on going. I kept on seeking. I kept on coming to church. I kept taking part in campaigns. Coming and understanding more and more about it, I knew that I had to give up everything. I had to forgive. And this was all hard for me, because in my mind I was still thinking, they left me. I didn't leave them. I had to give up all my grudges. I had to give up all my bitterness that I had. I gave up my house at the time, even to the point that I gave my children up. It was the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. As I said goodbye to my boys, I seeked with all my heart, with every ounce of my being. I meditated, I fasted, I gave it all up. only because I wanted to receive the Holy Spirit. And it was after all that, after everything that I had given up, that I received the Holy Spirit. That everything that I was asked of, I gave. I have peace. I am overwhelmed with joy every day, no matter what. I am not angry like how I used to be, but I have self-control. I have a relationship with my children and they have come back home. I became a fountain of flowing water. After receiving the Holy Spirit, I had to sacrifice my all on the altar. When I sold my car, when I gave up my house. Yes, it was difficult. It was hard. God gave me His power. He gave me His Spirit that I would conquer everything back. I have my own house again, because for that time, as I gave up my house, I went through homelessness. And I want to give to everyone exactly what God has given me.